All right, I am recording my end.
This meeting is being recorded by the host or precipitant.
Now, if I can figure out screen sharing, all right, man, that's going to work awesome. Drop out of the screen sharing. We'll go back to a quick intro and tell people what we've been working on, or more importantly, what Gary's been working on.
No, this is okay. I don't want to take all the credit. When I was working, I came up with ideas for a website for the hospital, and I called up the PR guy and said, "Hey, I got this idea." We took it to the administrator, and I let him take all the credit.
Well, I'll be the administrator in this scenario. I'm okay with that. But what we got here is a whole bunch of calculators to try and improve crossbow hunting and give us a little bit more information to make important decisions when we're choosing an arrow rig or a broadhead setup or the crossbow itself, to get us so that we know more information about what it is we're doing out there, what we're shooting, and how it's going to react in the field as well as in the backyard. And there's a number, these calculators are all over the place online. You can go any number of websites, they'll give you various calculators. But the problem with them, and I think old grumpy hunter here, Gary, who's been a friend of Bunjie for a long time, we've worked together, we've hunted together on a lot of different little projects here. He's even referenced in my books and stuff too. So we go way back, recognizing that these these calculators that you can go to online, they aren't always crossbow specific, right? They don't, not that it makes a whole bunch of difference, but sometimes it does make a little bit of difference, right? And we don't necessarily want to be looking at calculators where you have to type in and change the compound bow guy's information over to our crossbow information that we want to deal with. So what we've done is we came up with a bunch of ideas. We started working on this, and old grumpy hunter here has actually taken the ball and run with it and put together a whole bunch of calculators. And we're going to do a video now talking about those calculators. Look at that.
And first off, I appreciate you getting me onto the Crossbow Appreciation Month. Double appreciation there. I've been on my videos, I've been mentioning Crossbow Appreciation Month a couple different times to boost your attendance, although I think all my viewers are also your viewers, so they probably already know about it. We started out on these calculators. We ended up with 14 of them so far, which was a lot more than either Rich or I had planned on doing.
It's on the screen right now. Crossbow calculators, our joint project, and you can see that they're broken down. This will be the way that it looks on Old Grumpy Hunter's website, and I'll flash that web address on the screen. We'll keep it on the screen throughout this and in the notes of the video as well.
So we've got crossbow efficiency calculator. That is based off of Rich's calculator and one of his videos.
Darren Cummings, and I do want to thank him specifically for that, because without him, I never would have even been thinking about efficiency. I went into that whole breaking limbs series with one idea in my head about why limbs break, and man, I came out with a much more thorough understanding of it. Let's go through these and show the folks how these work. We'll start right with that kinetic energy and momentum calculator. Click on that, and let's I see you've got it preloaded with some familiar specs.
Right. It every calculator preloads and automatically calculates on loading. We've got Bunjie in there, I believe.
Looks familiar to me. Yeah, that's the stock arrow speed and weight for the original Bunjie.
I'm just going to change the speed here to 350 and arrow weight to 435, which is approximately what Parker is shooting. Hit the calculate KE and P. P, by the way, is the scientific symbol for momentum. And there it gives you your kinetic energy, potential kinetic energy at launch, and the momentum at launch, which is 0.67 slugs. And then here's some reference point that is used throughout online about what kinetic energy you need for a kill of whatever size animals. And scroll down, it gives a little information about the calculator. And then you've got the menu screen, a menu for all the other calculators. And I'm going to go back to the home page, and crossbow efficiency calculator. this again is based on Bunjie Junior. Yes, Bunjie Junior.
Look at that. Those are familiar specs as well.
And okay, let's put in Bunjie 3. What's the information on that, Rich?
Right now, 442 for, no, I'm sorry, for the arrow speed, we'd probably be putting in 390, although I got to tell you, that's still a work in progress. I changed the cables, the string, all that good stuff.
Arrow weight?
That's with a 442.
442, and your draw weight's what, 150?
150.
And your power stroke?
I think is, let's go with 16. That's probably not accurate. I don't have that memorized, but
okay,
it's somewhere in that ballpark.
What do you mean you don't have that memorized?
You know, it's funny. I typed this in so many times, but I actually did screenshots of the results that I've got. So I just, when I want to know, I don't go back to the calculator. I actually just take the screenshots off my phone.
Okay. So calculate it, and there's the efficiency rating of Bunjie 3. That's the Deathstalker 480, 420?
420, yep.
420. And you've got a 74% efficiency with that setup.
Right.
And again, back to the menu here. And FOC, this is already set up for the arrows that I shoot. And you've got, let's see, Genevieve's arrow is what, 16.5?
Yes, yep.
And we're just gonna say that the point of center is about 2/3 of that, so I'll say 12. I'm guessing without measuring it there. And calculate it, and she said 22.73%.
Good healthy percentage. And what we're doing there, we're measuring the overall length of your arrow
from the throat of the nock,
yep,
to the into the insert,
right,
with the point on,
right. And then you're going to balance it with the point on too, Gary, as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what we're going to do, we're going to balance this, right? Take your arrow, which is next. Okay, there you go. And if you've had too much coffee to drink this morning, that's not going to work.
And then you measure again from the throat of the nock,
yep,
to that point.
To this point. So that's the point where Gary's putting in the 12 inches. So you're going, measuring the 12 inches from the point of balance to the end of the arrow out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To where the string would be sitting in the nock.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and if you change that, now, if you go to the end of the knot, or if you go to the end of the point, that's going to change the number you're getting.
Yes, it is.
And there's some disagreement on that. Personally, I don't shoot arrows that don't have broadheads. So, but you need to know, and this allows you to calculate it either way.
Yes.
Right? You can do the overall,
yes,
but it still gives you something to compare one arrow setup to another. And that's what's really important.
Yes. And then we got Dr. Ashby's classes of FOC below the results, and then about the calculator, and then instructions on how to do it. But you can, it says do not include the point, but you can.
Yep. Just so you're aware of it, that you're going to get different numbers. That's the important.
And you need to do the measurements the same way when you measure.
Yes.
You do your first overall length. You need to do it with or without the point.
Yes.
And then the balance point with or without the point.
Right. Right. Don't go combining the two. I agree 100%. Yep.
Okay. So.
But look at this. Let's go up a little bit there. The FOC classes. I'm betting most of us as crossbow hunters end up in extreme FOC categories.
I think you're right. I don't know. I've never sat down and measured the FOC of the aluminum arrows that I use with my Barnett recurve, but it's got to be at least 20%, if not more, because again, I mean, the weight of the arrow, it's like it's 9.1 grains per inch. And you add that 100 grain point out at the end, plus the insert, because that grains per inch does not include the insert.
Right. Plus, we also, like when you're talking about Genevieve's crossbow, Bunjie Junior, 16.5-inch arrow, it's pretty easy to get a pretty high percentage of front of center.
Yes, especially
when you got a short arrow.
short arrow and you throw 150 pound, 50 pound, yeah, 150 grain broadhead on it, and that changes that balance point immensely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And where are you going, Rich?
I'm looking for a tape measure, actually, because now you got me really interested. Before you leave that calculator, Gary, let's do these new zombies here.
Okay.
These are the newer, heavier ones. I got a little video coming on these once I shot every one of them 100 times here and really worn them out, worn the logos right off them. We'll measure this and actually go through it real quick. Hopefully this is showing up on the screen, but what I'm doing is, and if it doesn't, I'll reenact it or something, but I'm measuring from.
We can just see the tops of your hands. We can't see
I'm not measuring the field point. Okay.
Right.
I'm measuring from the end of the insert all the way down to where the string touches the knock. That on this flat knock is the end of the knock.
Yeah.
All right. So that's 20.5 inches.
What's your balance point?
Now, and that's with the point, with the field point in it?
Yeah. With the field point in it, find your balance point, get a rough idea, pinch it with your thumbnail.
All right, right there looks balanced. I'll pinch her right there. And now we're going to measure from that balance point.
Back to the knock.
Yep, back to, again, to the end of the knock. And that is, we're going to go with 15 1/4.
15.25.
Sounds good.
All right, to get the numbers in, I'm going to hit the calculate button.
Drum roll.
Too late.
24.39. So this is a FOC, this setup, this arrow setup is 24.39. You change out the 150 to 100 grain field point, you're going to get a different number. But that way you can play and sort of look at one arrow versus another arrow setup. How cool is that?
The important thing about knowing about FOC is that it keeps the arrow flying straight and produces more, has a semi-direct relationship to the amount of penetration because the arrow's being pulled by the point, not the arrow pushing the point.
Gotcha.
Let's see, with the crossbow minimum arrow velocity weight calculator based on your draw weight. I did a video a year and a half, 2 years ago. The link is in the description of the calculator on what would be the minimum weight for your arrow based on the draw weight. And this calculator is strictly theory. I've not been able to prove one way or the other, but I got 170 pound draw, 170, I think that's what it is, 170 pound draw weight on my Parker, and it says I need a from between 2.5 and 3. I need somewhere between 425 grains for the minimum to the maximum minimum is 510. And I find it interesting that the stock arrows that came with Parker with 100 grain field point weighed 428 grains.
Right in the mix, yeah.
Right in the mix. So, is that a coincidence or did I do something right in my math? I did my math multiple different ways and came up with the same results. A lot of math involved. And again, associated, somebody we both know had also done this and came up with the same values, give or take a tenth of a grain. And I did not know that when I did my video.
Right.
So that's just kind of, maybe something's right there.
Right. And really what we're doing, just explain the overall idea about how you're translating compound bow math to crossbows.
Exactly.
Though I guess I just explained it, but actually the video explains it better. So really go watch that video. You'll get a better feel for what this calculator is trying to accomplish.
This calculator, like all the other calculators, are just tools to get ideas. We're not saying what's on the results is going to be carved in stone.
Right.
And so I'm going to go back to the main menu. The next one is what happens when you change your arrow weight, what the speed's going to do above and below whatever you start with. And it's based on 5 grains change equals 1 foot per second change in speed. Although I'm probably going to have to go in and modify this so they can have their own settings, like 1 through 5.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. What I found in my shots, I've shot every arrow weight out of 3 different crossbows and mapped it all out. That's another thing I have saved on my phone so I can refer back to it, but sort of get an idea how, what I've noticed that different crossbows and different arrow weights, they lose speed at different rates depending on how much weight you're adding. Yeah. So if you're going from 350 to 450, you lose one amount of feet per second. But then if you're going from 550 to 650, it's different. So
yeah. And
these are a rule of thumb.
Rule of thumb, and there's so many rules of thumbs out there that I picked 5, but I see where 3 may be more realistic, which will cause a slower, a greater drop in speed.
Right.
So I'm going to
play with them. It certainly is these are all a work in progress.
All right, now this one here is related to your calculator about crossbow efficiency, and this one calculates the best efficiency weight arrow for your setup. And this is based on my bow, and you can see the current setup is 435, 350. It gives you the momentum and the kinetic energy, and then it gives you the best performance here at 489. I think got to get in there to look at that. Yeah, 489. And then it gives you a range, and it gives you the highest kinetic and the highest momentum also.
Right. So you're looking for that sweet spot for performance.
Right, for the arrow performance. Now that was based off of a, I'll have to find that. I'll put the link in there too. Go back and I'll find the link that I used it from, because I did a video on it also. But again, everything is based off something. I'm not making this stuff up.
No, you didn't invent the math. I understand. Yeah.
And then we've got a way to calculate what speed, what arrow weight the manufacturer used to get their kinetic energy based on their stated speed. And it varies from manufacturer to manufacturer. Most of them are in the 350 to 400 range, I found. Some are less, some are more. Where am I at here?
Complex crossbow arrow drop calculator. That's one that we talked about. I really enjoyed that one.
All right. This one right here.
Yeah. Yep.
This one was modified multiple times.
I know. I'm such a pain.
But that's okay. You got a choice of looking at it at 1 yard increments to see how far your arrow is going to drop, your flight time, and its rise or fall in inches, and in 1 8 yard increments, and or out to 5 yard increments out to 120 degrees, and gives you all that.
And then you see, this is a good way not just to compare one arrow setup to another or one crossbow to another, but to really educate ourselves on how arrows, what they're losing over long distances. I really think this is an educational one that people need to check out.
And we've made a simplified one where it just takes the initial speed and the arrow weight and assumes everything else is the defaults.
Right.
So if people don't want to go to all that work. Then we've got a reaction time calculator that this is again based off Parker. Tells you how fast the arrow is going to take, or what the length of time the arrow is going to get there compared to how long the sound gets there, to how fast the target can be moving. And that's based on 0.1 seconds for a deer. It's hard to measure what a deer does. Humans is 0.15 seconds to sound, and deer are faster. And anything that's in green, the arrow is going to get there before the deer's got a chance to move. Anything in the pinkish red is deer's going to be on the move.
Yep.
Before you get there.
And I like that one. That also goes back to our friend Darren Cummings with the idea that, the machine that he made about deer
Right.
the string.
Yes, he did a excuse me. He did a great job with Dr. Grant Woods on checking out how fast something drops. And then we got another one that's similar to this, and it talks about uses a lot of the same information as the other complex arrow one, but this measures the distance between two, measures the drop between two distances.
Yep. And we're looking there, you can see the difference in, you got a 6-inch drop over 5 yards. You know what I mean? That's another educational one. I really like looking at that.
And this is based on my my Barnett recurve shooting at 428 grains at 228 feet a second. So it's not a long range. It's not a long range bow.
Right. But this calculator helps you learn that. That's important.
Right. And again, this is just a tool. These values are not carved in stone. And of course, the most important one, coming soon.
I love it.
We don't know what's coming soon it's going to be yet, but if anybody has any suggestions, please feel free to let us know.
It's been a lot of fun. I kind of picture myself as the idea guy more than the nuts and bolts guy. Gary's the one that helped all these ideas come to life. But with help from Friends of Bunjie, if you want to give us some more ideas, we'll come up with some more fun things to put the calculators together on. You can check those out on my website and Gary's website. We'll put the information on the screen and in the description. Anything else you want to add, Gary, before I run out of time?
No, not really. Just other than I hope everybody has a great season. I don't know when Pennsylvania starts. Mine starts September 3rd.
Oh, rub it in. You're a month ahead of me. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I have to wait longer than that to go hunt in Maryland. We are going to Maryland in early September, I'm thinking, this year. And then Pennsylvania starts in October. So we'll see where that's going to go. And that's still a work in progress, too.
Yeah. The Old Farts crossbow season starts in the same day as regular archery season. For youth and Old Farts, we get a 2-week head start on the rest of the crossbows.
So the archery there doesn't start until, or the crossbow hunters don't get to go out the entire archery season?
They missed the first 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Okay.
And archery season goes from September 3rd to Martin Luther King Day, which is in January.
Gotcha.
And which is what, the second Monday in January or third Monday in January?
You should be able to kill one of those nice bucks during that time, Gary.
They got to show up. I got a couple bucks I need to take out. They look like antelope antlers.
Oh, that's all. It's all good. It's all good.
Hey, the does eat nice too,
Yep. Absolutely.
But I've got a couple. Actually, I know of 2 does. Maybe there's more, but I got a set of twin fawns from one. And if they still have spots, I'm leaving mommy alone. No reason to hurt them. But getting back to the calculators, I pulled my hair out on some of them. I had to learn a bunch of new math. My math, I did not have higher level math anywhere other than Algebra 1 in college. So I had to do a lot of research, but hey, it gave me something to do, as if I didn't need something to do. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hunting. I'm looking forward to seeing more of your Crossbow Appreciation Month videos.
I kill animals and eat their flesh because it's dinner. Wild game is my favorite dish. We hunt and we gather. Steak and potatoes, maybe.